I think it works. At least I hope it works. We'll see. Buried under prints already. Yeah, and I can definitely print them a whole lot faster than I can paint them, that's for sure. I'm gonna fix this little toy raptor. Poor little guy. His tail broke. Little guy. Hello. Happy Saturday. How you doing, Steven? Fix this little dinosaur first. That's step one. And then keep painting the big stompy robot. Just testing the stream out, making sure it's working. Clearly it doesn't seem like it's having any troubles, which is good. Whereabouts are you? It got to be in Europe, I would guess. If it's that late. Poor little dinosaur. Give a fragile little dinosaur to a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, and sure enough, it got broke. It's okay. That's why they made super glue. Yeah, UK. That's what I figured. There you go. Got your little tail back. Mostly. I'm on the west coast of the US. So it's only 3 o'clock here in the afternoon. That sounds exciting. I haven't played MechWarrior 5 yet, but it's on my list of things to do. I have so little time for video games. Well, at least new video games. There's definitely video games that I just habitually play. There you go. Get his tail back. Silly little raptor. Alright, you're all fixed. Be a happy kid when he gets home. Tail up. There you go. Looking good. Good, I'm glad to hear that. I did hear there were some issues with it at launch. So I've got this big Mad Dog I printed. Let's see, let me find another mech for scale. So there's a Stone Rhino for scale. So pretty significant size difference there. Dinosaur, Korean. Yeah, it'll wiggle, but as he breaks it, I've had to super glue more and more pieces. So there are junctions that are a little less springy than others because of the super glue. You know, if you want to break something, give it to my 7-year-old, right? Yeah, the old Stone Rhino. Yeah, this is one I've had forever. Let's see if it's got the date on it. Well, the hex base on it says, you can see it in full focus. It says 1985 on it. Ralpartha, 1985. So it's I know the mech itself is newer than that, but yeah, it was probably 1993 or 1994, if I were to guess, when that Stone Rhino came out. And he's been in a box most of the time ever since, at least most of the time for the last 20 years since I got the mechs out again. do some painting. I'm gonna finish up this Mad Dog. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it when it's done. Maybe I'll give it away. Or maybe it'll sit on a shelf and gather dust. The technical readout was a 3055, if I recall correctly. That was a good technical readout. That's some of my favorite mechs are in that. Or is it 3058? No, it's 3055. And some of my favorite mechs are in there. I'm gonna keep working on the metal base coats. This little guy, or big guy, I guess. Hopefully, get it ready for Monday. Yeah, good old FASA, right? Really cared about matching the picture with the mech sheets. Very low on there. I keep hitting the camera with my hat. Very low on the priority scale. Like, yeah, it's got a PPC on it somewhere. I don't know where it is, but somewhere. The kids are back. I can hear them stomping around upstairs. Calm between storms. I was running that resin printer pretty much non-stop for the last couple of days. I'm giving it a rest here as it is currently in the same room as this desk, and the fumes do gradually build up. So, you know, as much fun as it would be to be found keeled over the desk here, probably not a great idea to have it running while I'm working. I should probably be on camera while I'm doing that. All the skills you need when you're painting on camera. In focus and in frame. Two very good things. I have been to the UK once, and I keep hitting the camera again. Maybe raise it up. It won't be right in the way of my hat as I paint. I got all these ratkin over here I need to finish. Bad times. Made a video about how to prioritize getting horde armies done, and then completely lost my motivation to finish the ratkin when the 3D printer showed up. So they've just been sitting on the desk. I think I just have 9 or so left to paint, and then I can call that little force done. But we'll see. I'll take a break from the printing, get some actual painting done. So base coating all the metal parts, and then I'll wash over it, and it'll look good once it has the wash. Liquid talent. There's one toe. One toe done. Bunch to go. What are you working on today, Emery? Well, Steven's probably going to call it a night here. It's late for him out there in UK land. Fassa. Really got into an argument on Rec Games Mecca back in the day about whether the Jenner Cicada Locust could torso twist with no torso and legs mounted to the main body. Yeah, that's a fun one, and the Blackhawk as well, the Nova rather. Yeah. Moving design looks cool, maybe in functional practice it has a few flaws. It definitely required some suspension of disbelief. Shaky hand today. Outside in the cold, raking leaves, so my hand's shaky. Shaky, shaky. It was good times though in those days of Fassa, and if you were not in on the whole Harmony Gold drama, it just all seemed like a great game by a great company, and mechs were awesome, and the Ral Partha catalog came, and you were all super excited. One new catalog every year, so you get to figure out, sit down with your money and decide, all right, if I've got $35, we take out the shipping and handling, that gives us this much money left to play with. What mechs could we get? And we all pool our money for one order with my friends and I, and wait for those little metal mechs to show up, and then have fun trying to keep them together with super glue, and then painting them terribly in all sorts of garish colors because we were 13 and had no talent for it. But it was fun. Find some royalty-free music that I can play on the stream. Normally I've got the Midnight or some other synthwave music going full blast so I can listen and work at the same time. Can't do that when I'm streaming. I'm gonna get copyrighted. Chin laser. Anytime I think of the Locust, I recall the scene from Decision at Thunder Rift, where Grayson corners his future wife in the alley with an Inferno rocket, and she's in the Locust. He basically stands in the middle of the road with the Inferno launcher and gets her to surrender. Not exactly sure why. It's not like the Locust would overheat and shut down, but it's been a while since I read the story, and there might have been a reason. Yeah, not a whole lot of torso twisting with some of those mechs. Never painted a mech this big. This is definitely a first. Coming along though. Though the metal bits will probably take me a while, because there are a lot of little tiny metal bits. Oh, and the back. Yeah, the 3D printer had a little bit of a hiccup on the back. This whole little part here is green stuff that I very poorly modeled and stuck on the back. Just because it looked awful. There was a big hole there. It's okay, it's not perfect, but I gave up on trying to be perfect a long time ago, so it's all good. Steven, are you down kind of near London and in that area, or up farther north? I'm gonna tell the boy to clean up the bathroom upstairs because he destroyed it. I've only been over there once. I went over to London and spent 2 weeks in London and Bath, and just kind of checked out spent a lot of time in the British Museum since I was a big history nerd. Had just graduated from the university with a history degree, and so all I wanted to do was hang out at the British Museum and see all the cool stuff that's there. And I had a buddy from, I guess it was IRC at the time. It was kind of a chat room in IRC, and the way he put it was, yeah, the British Museum has all the cool stuff they stole from all the other countries. The Elgin marbles were pretty cool. Definitely gotta go back someday and take the kids. By the time we get over there, the Elgin marbles might be back in Greece. Parthenon marbles, I guess. Won't be called the Elgin marbles anymore. So there's no insulation in this room. And the kitchen is right above it, and it has wood floors up there. And I can hear the cat has these little nail guards so she doesn't scratch up the furniture. And I can hear the tip-tap of her little nail guards as she's walking across the wood floor upstairs. Pretty silly. Water. Dehydrated water cup. Are you up working on something, Steven, or are you just hanging out burning the midnight oil? I have some mech feet here. 1 foot, 2 foot. Green foot. I guess I should paint that. It's tricky figuring out what's visible once it's on the base. Figure out actually making a base for this thing. I don't think that's going to be a big hexagon because it's not to any scale as a random as big as I could make it scale. So I wouldn't be able to replicate a size accurate match. So definitely just a display piece and not a functional one. Though I did post that video a little while back that proposed the idea that maybe people would be interested in a larger scale, because as cool as these mechs are, the scale is a little small. And so I was thinking if you had a slightly bigger mech, definitely not as big as the one I'm painting now, but a larger scale of mech, you could get a lot more detail, as I'm proving here as I'm painting this big one. But if you went up to like a 72 mil scale, which is not that much bigger, you could still play. Right, I think I got most of it. Oh, gotta get around all the little foot pads. Definitely look better once it has the wash. We'll dirty it up. Alright. He's got his toes, got his guns. We'll do the rest here. I haven't decided if I want to paint the missile tubes silver or not. Probably should. In fact, I should probably do that right now. Alright, let's give it a try. Trash brush here. Though, you know what? I should paint insides black first. Urgh. I'll do the missile tubes black first, and then I'll do the silver on the outside. That will make more sense. This brush is on its last legs. as are most of them. Alright, let's paint this black first. We'll get on all the little nooks and crannies. That'll make it look like the missile tubes are actually missile tubes and not just indentations. And this is just a flat black. Abaddon black. Super fascinating. But it's got to be done. It'll look cool when it's done. To paint 20, 40 little missile tube holes. Which is a lot easier than painting 40 ratkin. So I guess I shouldn't complain. Coming along. My favorite place in the UK was Bath. Well, I appreciate it, Stephen. Take care. Get some rest. And my favorite place was Bath. Just being able to walk around the ruins of the Roman baths there was an awe-inspiring trip moment. A friend of mine who was driving us around kind of knew where things were, and so we stopped at some other locations, places where he knew there were like walls of a Roman city and another museum that was kind of in a small town. So it was kind of cool. Felt a little special seeing things that your average tourist just flies right by. Wish I could remember the name of that little town we stopped in. That's gonna bug me. I'm gonna think about it all the night now. Somewhere between Bath and London. Alright, there's one side done. One side done. 20 to go. Time flies when you're painting a big stompy robot. I saw somebody was on Twitter the other day and they were actually upset that people were calling them robots. I mean, well, if that's your biggest worry of the day, I would call that a win. As far as problems, call it whatever you want, as long as you're having fun. Having fun, not bothering anybody, call it what you want. I guess you are bothering somebody, but bothering somebody who you care about not bothering. There's some random person on the internet, because there's always somebody upset there. I'm mad at things. Stop liking what I don't like. This will look cool once I go over it with the silver, I promise. Just got to do the holes first. And then do the silver over the top, and they'll look like they're actual missile tubes rather than indentations. Coming along though. So glad the stream's working. Been trying to get it up and running for a while now. With the downstairs, we're remodeling this downstairs. I didn't have a hard line to the room until about Thursday this week. After all summer of... oh, there's another hole somewhere where resin's coming out. You can see it. Uh-oh. Looks like it's back here. There's a little hole where there is some liquid resin still inside there that escaped. I'm going to need to get a Q-tip and clean that up. Don't really want liquid resin leaking all over your desk or fingers. Repaint over the top of that. It's actually liquefying the paint too. Some alcohol. Where's that dropper? Alcohol will evaporate, wash away the resin. Interesting. We'll have to find out exactly where that hole is and fill it with super glue and then paint over the top. Oops. It's because that print wasn't it wasn't technically a successful print, and so it had holes in it, and I patched them as best I could, and I added that impromptu blue stuff, green stuff shoulder, but his entire shoulder was messed up and leaking. The resin was able to get in as it was going, so have to keep an eye on that. I'll let the alcohol evaporate. I think I'll just put some super glue in there and then harden it and then paint over the top, and hopefully that will solidify the hole. That's too bad. Annoying, but it's okay. One more step. Don't sweat the little things. One more little thing to do. Alright, what was I going to do before I noticed that? Oh, yeah, I was going to do the missile tubes. Alright, we'll make the missile tubes look good. Let's do it. Waiting with bated breath, I can tell. Paint is drying out. Sponsored by Caffeine-Free Coke. Not sponsored by. No, not sponsored. Alright. It's actually washing off the paint. Alright, one more thing to fix. Silver and black, it'll help it pop out. And the missile tubes look like they're actual missile tubes. Definitely going to come down with the silver here. There we go. Things out already looks better. Looking pretty awesome once it washes in there on all the little nooks and crannies. Pretty good. Too shabby. I think I'm going to go ahead and fill that with super glue. Hopefully that's the spot. And I'll paint over it. I'll hit it with the green. Seal in all the juices. You hate it when you're cooking a mad dog and all the juices run out, and you just have yourself a dry mech. It's the last thing you want. seal in all that flavor. Should just always do my stream in a southern accent. Freak people out who know me, who check out the stream like, why on earth are you speaking in that terrible accent? The only reasonable response is, well, why aren't you speaking in an accent? And if I'm doing it, it's not terrible. It's brilliant. Fun with base coating. Gotta love it. I appreciate that neither of you complained about the paint job being green. Because of course it's going to be a Jade Falcon mech. Why would I ever paint anything else? Those clan mechs do look so good in green. Looks like that's sealed up. I don't see any new leaky bits. Seal all that freshness. I'll probably spend a couple more hours just doing the silver bits, the Grey Knight steel bits, and then give it a wash and start detailing. In the cockpit. Cockpit's always super important on the mech. It's really the only, definitely a contrasting thing. Well, the paint did not shake up very well. But it'll look good when it's done, or at least passable when it's done. These are going to be lights up here. I'll paint them silver for now, since I'll eventually just be going over them with bright colors for lights. Now the bump is gone here because the paint job was bad, but I'm going to fake it anyway. Pretend the light is there. Fake it. Painted detail instead of actual detail. Pro effort. By pro, I mean terribly amateurish. It works. It works. Are you still on, Emery? Gonna keep painting chrome bits until I run out. And then paint some more. Super highly focused on the detail because washes cure all sorts of crimes, or at least cover up all sorts of painting crimes. So I don't quite get into every little nook and cranny. I don't panic about it because it's going to be largely covered up anyway. Do some invasion orange accent paneling. Need to have that. I like my clan mechs to be having some of that invasion orange. It's a good look. It goes well with the green. Some Jade Falcon painters go with yellow, and that's cool. Personally, I like orange a little bit better. Plus, you get to do invasion orange. It's all good. Getting in there. Styling. Have to get in there and repaint all of that. Oh, leaking again from here. Sheesh. Oh boy. Problem is the alcohol it's a mixture of the resin and the alcohol when it leaked in there when I was cleaning it. So now the alcohol is dissolving the paint as well. So I have to repaint all of that. Goody. Wow. Just threw that halfway across the room and made it in the trash can. That's awesome. It wouldn't be so bad if I knew exactly where the holes were, but I don't. Interesting. Maybe if I just leave it. If I can hit it with the UV light, it'll harden the resin that's still in it. Tried to do that earlier before I base coated it, and I thought it worked. Always good to have a UV flashlight around. Let's get the paint and we'll see if I can paint over it and it will hold, hopefully. It looks a little darker than the base. Hey, how's it going? We are up and running, buddy. Up and running and then some. Dealing with a leaky resin print. Is when this came out of the batch. This came out of the printer. The back was just completely messed up, and it looks pretty crappy right now. But this is actually the improved, repaired version. This is mostly green stuff here. But when I was washing it, the resin and alcohol leaked into the inside of it. And I thought I got most of it out, and I thought I sealed it, but as I've been painting today, it's been slowly seeping out of every little nook and cranny. And so I'm trying to deal with that. I think I've got most of the holes patched, and now I'm just going over it with the base coat. And that'll also help me figure out if it's still leaking, because it will mess with the paint if it keeps leaking. But I'm determined to salvage this thing. It's still a decent print. It's not perfect, but who's perfect these days? Teachable moment. Yeah. If I weren't so cheap, I'd have probably just thrown it in the trash and started another print. But how much is this? This was probably, I think, $2 or $3 worth of resin. So not that bad. I did get quite a few prints out of the first bottle. I did finish the first bottle, but I did get like I had 15 of these guys and the captain, little reptile guy. Got a bunch of crystals to use in basing. A bunch of actual bases. Little dinosaur. So lots and lots of stuff out of one bottle. It's not like I was... It goes quick only because I kept the printer running 24/7 for 3 days. You get quite a bit out of a bottle. Okay. What was I doing? Oh yeah. Cleaning up my mistake. I need a little bit of the green. Mix a little bit of the darker green with the lighter green so it's not so stark. Poor man's blending here. I think that covers up most of the icky stuff. Technically, there's still some resin in there, but I bet if I just left this thing out in the sun, it would also deal with the problem. I don't see any new leaks, so I think I may have gotten all of them. But yeah, when this thing is done, I'm definitely doing a photo shoot with some... I'll do some with white and some back, some terrain in the background. It should look pretty awesome. Actual detail on a mech versus the little ones where you can only do so much because they don't make paintbrushes that small. The scale of the game should... This would be pretty massive for a map, but I'd be up for it. Now, I was arguing probably 772 mil scale, so that would be about almost a little less than double this. I think that would be awesome for to have multiple scales for BattleTech, and you wouldn't even have to do very much because you wouldn't even have to change the rules. But all you'd really have to do is make the maps with the bigger hexes on them, and so you could just sell two versions of the maps: the original scale and then the larger mech scale, and just everybody agrees on, oh, we're going to do 72 mil or whatever for those matches. Now I say that, but I haven't played BattleTech with anyone but my sons in the past 15 years. So if there was a competitive BattleTech community, I am not a part of it. So I obviously don't have any sway. Yeah, we've talked before about the printing stuff. I did printing in my classroom for years when I taught intro to engineering, and that was using the old PLA and ABS plastic printers, and that was just a constant headache, and the prints kind of sucked, and you're always dealing with the plate of the bed not being hot enough or being too hot, and things sticking or not sticking. But yeah, that machine was probably broken down more often than it was up. And I never got it really up enough to print vast quantities of what kids produced, which was always the goal. I did make a lot of things and give them out, cheap little kind of cutesy things like this in class when I could. But generally when middle school kids were producing stuff and trying to slice it never quite worked out. There's always so many errors that the printer has a cow and doesn't want to do it. Alright, what am I going to do next here? Got silver in most of those spots that I want it. What's in there? It's gradually getting it ready. Yeah, big floor. I do have a big floor. It's currently concrete, but hopefully in a few weeks it'll be wood. I'm on the lookout for a big gaming table that we can have a nice big games of BattleTech, Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, and all the big board games that we currently can't play at the moment because the table that we have upstairs is covered in stuff. When we have a dedicated gaming table down here in the game room, that'll be pretty awesome. Now that we don't have to deal with electricians anymore. That part is thankfully done. Some more metal bits, breaks up the green. I'll save some bits for the orange, for the invasion orange. But I won't do that until after the wash, because I don't want to wash orange with a dark color, like the basilicum gray. We'll see. There is a method to the madness, I promise. There's a plan. It's not a very good one, but it's still a plan. Just hit that green bit. I'm just using the cruddiest brush I have for this metalworking part. So I don't like using the good brushes with metal paint, because it turns them into bad brushes. Use the bad brushes with the metal paint because they're already bad. Random spots here. I've had YouTube Studio just has no idea. It tries to show you concurrent viewers, but then it's just this roller coaster up and down. So like no idea if anybody's watching or not. It's all good. I'm just gonna talk to myself. Today is the day. Alright, what else needs to be silver? I think this arm joint up here needs to be silver. Good to have some base coat handy for when you mess up, touch something. Haven't figured out what I'm going to do for the base yet. Have to find something I can print, maybe city type rubble base for it to stomp around in. A nice big one. And it won't be a hexagon because obviously it's too big to play with. Some of these nooks and crannies. The nooks aren't so bad, but the crannies will get you every time. It's vicious. Vicious nooks and crannies. Just when you think you're out, I pull you back in. Handles need to be silver. Yab. Saw everybody showing off their Black Templar boxes. The inkling to drive down to the hobby shop to see if they had a spare box, but I've got enough things to paint. I don't need to paint more Space Marines at the moment, or start a new Space Marine chapter at the moment. Pretty sure I have probably 30 or 40 intercessors and boxes waiting to be painted between all the other boxes I've purchased. Let's see. Just looking on the shelf, got Assault Intercessors, Primaris Hellblasters, the Canoptic Doomstalker for the Necrons, got more Clan Elementals to paint, Admech Patrol Box, Gene Stealer Colt Goliath, Space Marine Vindicator, and still have some Skinks to paint. lots and lots of stuff to do. This boy. Every time I see this one, that's going to be awesome to paint. And I think it's going to be Space Wolf. Yeah, because I think I have to split my Space Marine stuff between the boys. So sometimes one gets the tank and the other one gets the tank the next time. So I think it's the younger one's turn for the next tank. But that Vindicator is cool. The giant bulldozer blade on the front. It's gonna be awesome to paint. It'll be looking pretty good in Space Wolf Gray. Alright, what else do we got going on here? I still see some of that resin leaking out somewhere. Interesting. Well, I'm going to hit the canopy here. Hit the canopy and then we'll let it dry and we'll probably do the wash after that. I don't know what I'm going to do after the Mad Dog. Now they can kind of print whatever mech you want using the files people throw on the Thingiverse and the other sites. Like, oh, what mech shall we paint next? I don't know. Though I did stumble across a Piranha. And though one of my buddies had that metal Piranha, I never owned a Piranha, and I've always wanted one. So that's probably going to be pretty high up on the list of things to do next. Though I'll probably print it at normal scale so I can actually play with it. Because who doesn't love 12 machine guns, right? If you're going to bring one machine gun, you should probably bring 12. Rules for life. If you're in a situation that needs one machine gun, you're probably going to be pretty glad that you brought 12. So, that's my feelings on the Piranha. We will let that dry and then we'll hit it with the wash and it will look 1,000 times better after the wash because it'll get into all little nooks and crannies and details. It'll darken up that metal color. We'll be able to do even more details after that. So what I want to do on these barrels is kind of do a faux heat damage, or at least heat effect on the metal. So as it goes out, the colors will shift, and I can do that with the airbrush, which will be awesome. That'll be one of the last things I do because of the washes go first. Oh, I need to do the back part. What did I do with that paint? 50 million jugs of paint. Where is it? It literally just disappeared. There it is. There's your problem. You have no ability to put things back in the same place where you found them. That's the problem. Alright, I'm gonna close this up. Save the green for later. You can see, go up close. Yeah, the back is, that whole section was missing and melty, all blended together as if it were not quite done baking. But that's okay. How often do you look at the back of the mech anyway, right? So green stuffed it and did my best to. I'm not a modeling sculpting artist, so did what I could with what I had, skill wise. Do some silver accents on the back here. Work with what you have. Silver accenting and make it look passable. Again, it's the back. That's actually kind of a neat thing not to have the mirror image. Maybe this one has electronic suite or something in it. It's slightly different pod shape than the other LRM. We'll just go with that. We'll pretend, fake it. We did that on purpose. Yeah. It looks bad on purpose. It's battle damage. Yeah, it's battle damage. Always the best excuse. It looks bad on purpose. I'm not just terrible. Message me, thanks. Silliness. Alright, I was going to do that lower arm actuator in silver. So let's do that. A lot heavier than your standard mech. Hand starts to ache a little bit. Lift weights. You even lift mechs, bro? Get out the metal mechs and lift those. It's actually not that different a weight comparison there. Resin's pretty light. Looks good. That was a good idea. Let's have to do it to the other side too. Break up the green. Can't just have a big wall of green and call it good. Even if it is shaded. So yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Mostly painless. Alright, let's do that again. Do it again. Do it better. Come on. No pressure. You tried being less terrible? Nope. Nope. It's kind of my jam. Once we get the shade, once we get the wash on there, and then I can do the edge work, it will look pretty darn good. And then it'll just be some super high detail stuff, and then decide if I want to try doing a Jade Falcon logo by freehand, which will possibly be hilarious in its execution, but you don't know till you try it. Could come out looking decent, who knows. Maybe I have a hidden talent of painting in this scale. Doubtful, but who knows. Be positive thinking. Might have to dig into the water transfers I have for all the other things I've done and see if there are any that would work well on the side of a battle mech. Interesting. I might have to take a break here soon. But we got most of the silver. I need to get in there. Alright, not quite done with the silver. YouTube yells at me, stream's current bitrate 5000 kbps is higher than the recommended bitrate. We recommend that you stream a bitrate at 2500. Well, when I streamed at 2500, it also complained that it was too low, and so I needed to increase the bitrate. Starting to think you just can't be pleased, Mr. YouTube or Ms. YouTube. People, some things are just never happy. Alright, that's not quite so terrible. It's a little rough seeing a model with just its base colors on it. We don't like it. Our human eyes don't like it. the shading, like all that stuff to be there. Make us happy. Someone was commenting on Twitter the other day about how when she followed my account, she followed because of the mini painting, and then over the course of following discovered that the account is lots of talking about other things as well, including like the remodeling adventure in my basement and the electricians that accidentally poked 13 holes in the ceiling of the bedroom, and one of them nearly drilled all the way through a joist underneath the master bedroom, which is not a good thing. Usually you don't want to drill through joists. That'll ruin your whole day if it fails, and your floor either starts sagging or it collapses entirely and crushes the person underneath. And since it's my son's bedroom, we were a little annoyed with drilling through joist. I think the code says you can drill a hole through the beam in order to run cable, but it can't be more than like 1/8 the width of the board. And this guy he notched out of the board a good almost halfway through the board. So that was not okay. That would not make the city inspector happy if he saw it. So we made them fix it, and it's all good. We have a ceiling. A functional ceiling. So that room is pretty much done. It just needs its flooring and the window framed out. And then it will be ready for my son to move in, which will be a pretty big deal considering he's been sleeping on the couch since June. And as much as he enjoys that, he really needs to sleep in his own bedroom. Especially as he gets to be a teenager and is going to want more privacy than the living room can provide. Hurrah for ceiling. Hurrah for the ceiling. I should probably paint on camera, right? She's like, believe me, I'm painting. Just take my word for it. Just watch the desk. Watch the empty desk. Pretend you're watching a painter who knows what he's doing. All part of the illusion. This terrible brush. This brush wants to die. It's on its last leg. It's like, stop painting with metal paint. You're killing me. The Citadel metal paints will ruin a brush pretty quick. Nope, need to do that. And all little bits, all little nubbins and bits that need to be painted before you wash. Looking forward to this thing being done. Again, I might give it away, I might keep it. Kind of depends on the mood of the moment. once it's done, hopefully get it done by Monday. And maybe either do a giveaway or something. I might print another one and just give away a blank one. One that's not leaking resin, you know, because I don't want to ship somebody leaky mech, leaking alcohol and resin mixed together. There's a lawsuit. You shipped me poison. What do you get? What do you want? Sometimes you get what you want, and sometimes you get poison. Let's roll the dice. Alright. Might have done those in silver, but I think I'm going to do those little nubbins in Invasion Orange. I think we're just about ready for a wash. Oh, missed that side. That side too. You're gonna paint it all, not just the front. I wonder if there are any painters out there. You know, because people show off what they do online, on social media, whatever. If they just painted the front of the model, and like, oh wow, I got all this positive attention for my really cool modeling, and then the back is just bare plastic. Sacrilege, of course, but that'd be hilarious. Like, I can paint models in half the time. Just don't take commissions, I guess. Unless you want to charge them for the back. Like, I'm sorry, I thought you were just paying for the front of the model, not both sides. Should have said that. Read the fine print. Only print the front of things. Only paint the front of things. No one else says I will. Alright. I should get a cut of that profit, right? Because that was my idea. Crazy sociopathic idea referral. If it works, it was my idea. If it doesn't work, it was yours. This is kind of the boring part of painting a model, the base colors, the metals, unless you're doing non-metallic metal, which I don't because I'm a trash painter. That's alright. I could spend 2 hours on this non-metallic metal, or I can use the paint out of the jar and call it good. Because I will never be in a painting competition, besides the one I was in, but you know, at least none that would ever be requiring that kind of effort. Rather spend my time on other things. Cool blending and other stuff. Alright, I think we're going to do the antenna. Saving the antenna for last. That's the best part, right? It looks just terrible from the top. It's okay. It's battle damage. It's supposed to be bad. hasty field repair. It was damaged earlier in battle, and now it's repaired. It's the best reasoning for a bad paint job or a bad modeling job. It looks bad on purpose. Have your antenna painted. Cracked team we've assembled here. Sorry, Stone Rhino. His arm has broken off so many times that basically just super glue at this point. Oh, I should probably do those vents on something. Maybe I'll do those in orange. That would look cool. I'll wash it first, and then I'll do orange in the vents there. And that'll be a good place for that invasion orange. That'll work. Close enough for government work. Ex-government work. Yeah, it's coming along though. So next step would be to do washes. I'm not going to do that on cam because it's a messy process and the silver's not quite dry yet. Hour and 40 minutes on camera is probably good for now. Hop off and go do some parenting. Play with the boys. Whatever it is they're doing. Alright, so we'll wrap things up. Next time you see the Mad Dog, it'll probably be finished if I don't stream tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be done by Monday. I'm ready to see. And we'll figure out what I want to do with it. Now, those of you who are here and on, thank you for coming out and chilling on this first hobby stream. Finally up and running. Finally. So thank you. Take care. Get out there and enjoy the world.